Hi everybody, it's Glenn with G&P Travels, and I am bringing you my second episode. It's going to be three parts. It is a review of the MSC Meraviglia. As I mentioned in my introductory video, that my first one that I posted was my episode one, is that we've done 27 cruises. We absolutely love cruising. And hopefully I can bring you some pictures and videos and some reviews about the ship, our experience. And my wife told me, she's the P in G&P Travels. I'm Glenn, the G in it. Get it? G&P Travels. She told me to try and be happier and smile more and things like that. She's like, try and smile more. She doesn't sound like that all the time, but she did tell me to try and smile more. So with COVID and everything else, I'm trying to add some dimension to my life, and we love traveling, and I think trying to put together some vlogs and or blogs and do reviews of our trips. The MSC Meraviglia, the one we were on, I didn't do a very good job taking pictures or getting much in the way of video. So my next review is going to be of the Celebrity Equinox that we were on February of, I believe it's January, February of 2019. And so I have a ton of pictures, ton of videos, so I can do a better job putting it together. And what I'll probably do then is either do the same theme I'm doing now. So instead of doing per day what we did, I'm giving you an overall in three parts. The first part, this one now, is the embarkation, getting on the ship. It's going to be about the cabin and about our cabin experience through the week and things to look for if you ever plan on booking this or booking even another cruise. I'm going to give you some tips for the cabin. But as I mentioned in my introductory video, we have been on 27 cruises, 19 with Carnival, 2 with Princess, 2 with Norwegian, 1 with Celebrity, and 4 with MSC. Excuse me. So if you do the math, I think it comes out to 27. But we love cruising, and you may ask, what's so special about cruising? We have friends and family that just absolutely are not interested in getting on a cruise ship. They're worried about being confined. They're so big. It's like a floating hotel or city. Excuse me. And so I think you got to try it once. Try a short one. If you're concerned about that, try a short one. We love cruising. We fell in love with it from the first time we went on a cruise ship. It was March of 2003. It was on the Carnival Imagination, which has now been scrapped due to the whole COVID. They're trying to sell off these ships for money, and they got scrapped. But such happens. Some of my people that know me may say, you put on a little weight. COVID, you're home. That's no excuse. I was sick and bad cold, and ever since, before I start this review, I'm going to tell you, ever since February 16th, 2020 was our Meraviglia cruise. I got sick at the end of it, and I had a problem breathing for 2 months. And I think either I had COVID or my lungs got burnt and I'll explain in the episode 3, or not episode 3, but part 3 of episode 2. And it's starting to get confusing now. I'm going to explain the problems with the pool and hot tubs and stuff like that. I'll explain in there, but it was over chlorinated in the hot tub, and so it may have burned my lungs. And so when I came back from the cruise ship, again, I was sick for a couple of months, and I still have breathing issues. So if I cough, I apologize. Or had a hard time breathing, and they put me on steroids, inhaled steroids, and that helped. But I just got over a cold, and I'm back to kind of having a chest thing going on. So I haven't been on the treadmill doing things like that. So I can't blame it on COVID. I'd like to, but I can't. So the MSC Meraviglia, again, February 16th, 2020. It was a few weeks before COVID shut down, and we had a good time. We've never had a bad cruise. We've had cruises that weren't so good. We've had some that were absolutely fantastic, and most of them just fell somewhere in the middle. Had a great time and enjoyed the cruise, and we enjoyed this one. There was quite a few issues. I'm going to explain to them. I'm going to try not to be too negative, but so starting off, embarkation. If you don't know, again, what that means, it's the process of going through security and so forth at the port and getting on the ship. So that's called embarkation. Most of you have probably cruised before and you understand that terminology. MSC is one of the companies that's very easy to that process of getting on and off the ship. Probably one of the easiest out of all of them. MSC, by the way, is a European cruise line. I believe it Italian, and they were or are still a shipping container company. So they do a lot of shipping worldwide, and you see the containers here. They started doing cruises, and I don't know how long ago that was. It started off in Europe, and I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, they brought it to the U.S. And they're trying to get a market, corner of the market here. I can tell you there's some things they're still doing the European style cruising here. I think my opinion is they need to find somewhere in the middle, because there is a lot of people from Europe that come over here to enjoy the Caribbean, and they pick this ship because it's a European ship, and they like the food and so forth on there. We wouldn't have been on 4 MSC if we didn't like it. So is there better out there? Yes. I think I enjoy Carnival much better, and a lot of you may say, oh, Carnival's the Kmart of cruising. Well, it's not. They are the fun ship, and they do have a lot of party ships, but you have to know when to go. You have to do your research on the ship and the time of year. And we always cruise in the winter, January, February, and then either September or October. And there's a lot less kids, and not that we don't like kids. We love kids. We had 2 of our own, and they're grown, and now we have 2 grandchildren. So one of these days we'll be cruising with them. So it being a European cruise line, it's a lot of European shows and a lot of European type food, and I'll explain that in the other parts to this review. But so getting on the ship, it takes you right into what they call the Galleria. It's like a mall that goes down the ship, and it's absolutely beautiful, stunning. Has shows that go on the ceiling. Here's a picture of that. I'm going to insert a video in part 3 where I talk about the Galleria a little bit more, and I'll have another picture in there as well. So that'll be in part 3. Look for it there. It's just like a 30-second clip that shows the show going on and with sound and stuff like that. So it takes you right into there. Beautiful again. That's the positive. The negative getting on this ship, again, we've been on 4 MSCs. We've never had this happen where we were just surrounded as you come on with people from the crew trying to upsell you for the spas and the drink packages and especially restaurants, things like that. So we had to weed our way through there. That was really disappointing because you come on the ship, you're excited, you want to see hear the music and see the lights and everything else going on, and it's beautiful, and you want to be in awe. You don't want to be continually telling people no. Other lines do it. The other MSC ships, they did. What they do is they put a table somewhere where you walk by as you're coming on, and they ask you as you're walking by, are you interested in specialty restaurants, or are you interested in upgrading a drink package or getting a drink package? But it's not in your face, and that's okay. I understand business. That's how they make money. So MSC needs to take a hard look at doing that, and maybe creating a policy where they're not basically attacking you when you come on, and that's a little heavy-handed, but that's what it felt like. It felt like they were just in your face. So that was our first negative on the cruise. We were able to go. There was a delay getting on the ship this time. Again, normally it's very quick. I think there was some drug bust or something with border patrol. They didn't release the ship early enough. Just a guess. I don't want to throw MSC under the bus for this. But so we were able to go straight to our cabin. Normally you have to wait till like 1 o'clock. It was already after 1, I believe, when we got on, and went straight to our cabin. As you can see here, cabin, it's a balcony cabin. We normally do balcony. We've done ocean view. We've never done inside, so I can't answer any questions on inside cabins. The balcony in this cabin was really deep. Love that. Normally they're a lot shallower and you don't have a lot of room, but this one was really deep. We originally were going to book on deck 6 for the balcony. We decided to switch to deck 7 based on our travel agent who said, go up 1 and you won't have the lifeboat right in front of you. Well, lifeboat was right in front of us, but I imagine on deck 6 it would have taken up pretty much your whole view of the ocean. We were able to see past that, over it, and around it. And we don't spend a lot of time on the balcony, even though we do like balconies. I like going out there usually when we're going into port, leaving port. They call that sail away when you leave port. And it's just nice to get out there, have a drink, sit out there and just watch sail away. Or sometimes when my wife's getting ready, I'll sit out there and I'll have a drink with her. Usually one of our friends or our neighbors that we travel with will have a cabin right next door to us, and we'll sit out. I'll sit out on the balcony, have a drink before dinner. So enjoyed the balcony. As you can see in that picture here with the lifeboat, it was interesting, but not a huge negative. And the cabin was really nice. It was clean. It was the beds were comfortable, pillows were comfortable. Enjoyed it for the week. Didn't have any problems sleeping, with the exception of, this is one of the issues I had, was slamming balcony doors and cabin doors. And I wear earplugs, so usually smaller noises don't bother me. 2 o'clock in the morning, people are out partying on their balcony and slamming doors, and it would wake you up. This was the first time out of 27 cruises that I noticed that bothered me. So it had to have been this particular ship, and they're slamming doors. We had other issues in the cabin. We had problems with the closet doors sliding. Were getting stuck, and I'm a big guy. I had no problem, wrestling them open. At one point, though, before dinner, we're trying to get ready. I couldn't get the closet door open. It had jammed, and I had to force it because I could not reach anybody at the front desk to have maintenance come up. So we forced it open so we could get dressed and go to dinner. We finally did reach somebody. They came up and they fixed it, and I believe they put on a new door and new hinges and stuff like that. So it was better. It was still a little sticky the rest of the cruise, but not a big deal. The one thing I'm going to tell you about the cabins with all the MSC ships, the storage space in the cabins is extremely low. There's hardly any place to put anything. You do have a closet, very small closet. You have, I believe, 3 or 4 shelves and 3 or 4 drawers. And I wish I had taken a picture of the closet, which I didn't. Again, this cruise, for some reason, I didn't take very many pictures and or many videos, and I'm disappointed because normally I take 500 or 1,000 pictures. And so that was it. There was one drawer in at a desk by the TV where my wife would blow dry her hair. There's a mirror there. That was it. You have end tables or nightstands next to the bed on each side. I think there's 2 shelves in there, and but they're real small. There's no room for any sizable amount of stuff. So know that. Very smart thing to do. We learned with cruising on MSC. We had bought those containers. They're real light. They collapse. Packing cubes. Thank you. See, somebody's whispering in my ear. Packing cubes. They're great. I don't use a lot of them. My wife likes to use them for everything. I only use them for the small stuff: socks, underwear, maybe ties, belts, things like that. And they're great to keep that stuff in when you get on the ship, because you can take the whole packing cube, you can jam it in somewhere where all your stuff isn't falling out, and then you just bring it out, open it up, and take out what you need. So those came in handy. I don't have a picture of those. You can find those on Amazon and eBay and whatever store you shop in that has travel stuff. The bathroom door we bought and it folds really flat, and it's very lightweight mesh, is a shoe organizer, and love it, absolutely love it. You can see in a picture here. Hanging on the bathroom door, we put all kinds of stuff in there, and it saves having stuff sitting everywhere, or again, there's not much storage space in the bathroom either. And so, we bottom of it we put our flip-flops and stuff in there, and then as we come up, we put in brushes and shaving cream cans and all kinds of stuff in there, and it just saves a tremendous amount of space and stuff sitting around all over the place in the cabin. So hooks, the walls are metal. If you didn't know that, some people may have cruised before and don't know that the walls are metal. You can put magnetic hooks on there. We have these hooks that are really, really strong magnets, and they'll hold up shorts, shirts, things like that. And they're great for hats. A lot of the cruise lines, for some reason, don't have hooks in the cabin. Carnival does. Carnival has also the best space wise in the cabins. They have a couple closets, all kinds of drawers around the desk, drawers on the nightstands, and so having the hooks, not having hooks in the cabin presents another problem. We bring a steamer. It's not an iron. It's a steamer. It's a jug steamer, and you just fill it with water and plug it in, and it starts steaming. You can get wrinkles out of your shirts, suits, things like that. The hooks, one hook wouldn't hold up my suit when I was steaming the jacket because it's pretty heavy. I had to double up the hooks, which is fine. I think I bring like 5 or 6 of those magnetic hooks. They work great. I would recommend it. Also, I think it's it on parts. The doors, by the way, are metal too, typically in these cabins. And sometimes we travel with magnets that we'll put on the doors outside to kind of dress our cabin up. It also helps us when we're walking down the hall to see, our cabin. We all have Ohio State stuff on the doors. It's funny, and I'm going to share a picture here. We did this for our neighbors that we cruised with. As you can see in this picture here, we put a for rent sign on their door. It was watching their faces when they saw that coming back to the cabin later, because they didn't notice on the way out. It was hilarious. And so we try and have fun with stuff like that. The cabin was really nice. 2 other issues we had during the week. Our cabin steward, we normally love. They take care of us. They tell us their name. Our cabin steward we saw 3 times the entire week. Would come clean, and sometimes in the middle of the afternoon instead of the morning. And the first night when we were on the ship at 9 o'clock, we were going to bed. I got to have ice. That's my one thing I tell the cabin steward: keep my ice bucket filled the whole week, and we're going to be good friends. I had to take my ice bucket, go up to the buffet at 9 o'clock at night and fill it, because he did not. And normally we tip extra at the end of a cruise, and this time we didn't tip extra. He wasn't worth it. He never came and introduced himself until he found out I went and got ice on my own from some other cabin steward, and he came and apologized later, which was good, and finally introduced himself. But normally they give us their name on a card. They give us their phone number directly to their portable phone that they carry around with them. And if we need something or have issues, we can call them right away. Nothing. So disappointing. The other thing we had problems with in the cabin was a couple of times we had cold water. They lost their hot water heaters on the ship, and they gave us a $50 each onboard credit, which was great. We used it somewhere else, and it wasn't a big deal. We weren't so worried about it. But so the cabin, loved it, with the exception of the few issues we had in the cabin steward, it was comfortable. It was fine. We've had better cabins and more comfortable cabins, but this was fine. And so, if you have any questions about cabins, one of the things too I want to mention, typically cabins, I need Wi-Fi because I bring my laptop with me because I can't get away from my business, and the internet was extremely slow, and we had a Wi-Fi AP out right in the hall. I mean, maybe a door down from our cabin, and it was terrible slow. Sometimes I couldn't get on. Sometimes I would get on. It seemed like it was better, and then it would be gone again. So if Wi-Fi is important to you, think about that as well. Obviously, you can't do anything about it. Sometimes we did take my laptop and went down into the coffee place, got a coffee, and was able to do some work there. But anyways, so that's it on the cabin. Any questions, any concerns, put them down in the comments. Please subscribe and like. Keep your eye out. I should be having part 2 of this the Meraviglia review up shortly. That's going to talk about the food, and then part 3 will be about the ship, entertainment on the ship, activities, things like that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that Galleria down the middle of the ship, because that's really cool. So, anyways, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.